All good, man. You're on tour at the moment?
Yes, yeah, we're out with Orgy right now. Actually, they're doing the Candy Ass anniversary thing over here in the States, and we're doing a co-headline thing with them, so it's working. It's really good. We got one more show, so after tonight, we got one more tomorrow, and then we're off for a couple weeks. A lot of festivals coming up this summer.
Yeah. Well, that's the tour that you're bringing to Australia. How often did Orgy and Cold cross paths back in the day?
I mean, we did a couple of tours back together, or the early 2000s, late 90s, really. So yeah, me and Jay had been friends for years and years. So I know they were getting back out, and we typically haven't done co-headlines in a while. When we started back in 2018, we just did headlining shows, but I wanted to start joining up with other bands and doing other things. So 4G had called and we hooked up and did it. So it kind of worked out.
We've had a couple of absolute belter of like double heading tours. Like it. I feel like it's a great way of doing things. Like, we had Mudvayne and Coal Chamber, we had Fear Factory and
Nice.
Machine Head, and it's great because you can literally go have a full headlining set, be absolutely exhausted, then just be like, holy shit, we've still got a whole nother band to go. Like this is
Yeah. And it's nice too. I mean, for the bands, it's nice because everybody, we all grew up together playing and doing like Machine Head and Fear Factory. We're all everybody's brothers and friends, so it's kind of a nice thing just to get together and do a trip across the country, man, and do things. So it's cool.
now you have never made it to Australia before. What impressions do you have of our country?
I am very excited to come over there. I was a big surfer when I was a kid, man. I grew up in Florida, so my goal was to always come over and surf Australia. Um, Mark Akalupo was my favorite surfer back in the day. I Kong, like I've always wanted to be over there and surf. So it's going to be very cool to get over there. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do anything like that, but just to see the ocean, see the waves out there, and see people, it'd be nice. But yeah, we're excited, man. We've been trying our whole career to come over there. Things just always fell apart right at the last minute. So we're thankful that we're able to do that now.
It just occurred to me, like literally just now, that both you and Jay Gordon are the sole remaining members of your original bands, and you're both the singers.
Yeah.
What? It seems like a weird coincidence, hey?
I mean, I feel like that's probably, I don't know. There's not a lot of bands where they lose the vocalist and it keeps going. I mean, minus like Alice in Chains and Journey, bands like that. But I don't know. I feel like me and Jay both were the integral part in moving both bands to where they needed to be. It was our thing that we, granted, the other members were equally as part of the band, and they always will be. However, man, people want to live their lives, and after 20 years, they want to do their own things and spend time with their family, and maybe not tour anymore. And that's not what I want to do. I got to keep playing music, so I'm going to continue doing it.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Mate, how you came up from Jacksonville? How would you describe the scene when you were first starting out?
The scene. I mean, we had a lot of bands come out of Jacksonville right at the time. Limp Bizkit was the first band to get signed. I think Korn and Deftones had gotten them. They played a show because they were we were a local band. We were called Grundig. They were Limp Bizkit. Um, there's the Shinedown guys are from there. Yellow Card. Lord, there's more bands too that I'm forgetting about. But yeah, there was a Puddle of Mud. Most of the members from Puddle of Mud were from Jacksonville as well. But it was just a moment in time and all the bands were kind of different. So it wasn't like a grunge scene where everybody's typically the same thing, but it was kind of an eclectic group of different types of bands. And it all just surged after Limp Bizkit happened. And everybody started, all the labels and things started coming there. So it kind of became like a little Seattle for a minute. But it was pretty cool, man. It was a good vibe. It was crazy. Like I tell people trip out when I tell you know we used to have parties at my house down on the beach, and it was us and Limp Bizkit playing in my living room, right? So kind of cool, kind of a cool thing. And then all the other guys from the other bands would be there. So it was kind of a thing to see in hindsight if you could look back in history and go, holy shit, that was wild. But it was, and everybody was cool with each other, man. It's not really a competition thing. It was just everybody was there for each other and to make everybody better, you know. So very cool.
I had to, as someone who was, 16 years old in 2001. Yeah, Limp Bizkit were one of the biggest bands in the world at that point,
Yep,
or at least that felt that way to me.
yep.
I finally got to see them December last year in Brisbane in a club show, and it was,
It's
man,
one of the best shows, right? It's
yeah,
like, man, I don't care if you say you don't like Limp Bizkit and you go to a Limp Bizkit concert, you're leaving there loving Limp Bizkit. Like it is the most fun thing, you can go to. It's
yeah.
just hilarious. They have a good time. They bring the party, and it's just a nice vibe, man. I like it. I'm going to go see them in a couple months on the Loserville tour they're doing here in the States. Um, I always like popping in to see them whenever I can, whenever they play around. So it'd be nice.
Yeah, he was sick as a dog, Fred, when he was playing, and was
Yeah.
still put on a hell of a show. Like he looked like death when he walked out, when he came out.
Well, he probably got his out. What character was he during the show? Was he just the wearing his big baggy old man parachute clothes, or
Oh,
he
this,
definitely every tour I feel he does a different thing though.
yeah, Fred was literally just came out in a big orange hoodie, no wig,
Yeah,
no old man or
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
that would just looked like death. And he lines up
Yeah.
all these Gatorade bottles, and he's like, "The doctor said I have to drink 3 pints of fluid." He's just throughout the show throwing down Gatorade and still put on a hell of a show. Yeah.
Hey man, he's a pro. He definitely does what he needs to do. But love Fred very much.
Yeah. Now, mate, I used my incredible like detective skills, and I figured out that you're a bit of a Spider-Man fan, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Well, I think that got a little. It's not. I'm more of a Batman fan actually, but the Spider-Man thing happened because we were doing What Happens Now, and our friend who directed our videos, Stupid Girl, With My Mind, and whatever, Just Got Wicked, Mark Webb, had became the director for the Spider-Man movie. And when he became the director for the Spider-Man movie, we were creating super fiction, and we were like, we got to write a song for the thing, send it to Mark, get it in the movie, right? So we did What Happens Now, and it turns out right around the time that was happening, the the movie company decided they were not going to use any rock bands or any music. They were just going to do theatrical type of things. So we're like, damn. But yeah, that kind of got twisted up, I think. But
Oh,
yeah, clearly, I like all superheroes. Spider-Man's definitely up there, but Batman's my favorite. So
well, I was going to ask who do you think is your favorite Spider-Man actor? But
yeah,
I was going maybe Batman. Fuck it. Who's the best Who do you reckon played the best Batman?
definitely Christian Bale. I mean, to me, and I don't know, man. I even like the old school and Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito. I like all that too. I don't think there's a bad one yet. Even Ben Affleck, I didn't know how he was gonna do, but I was like, God damn it, you got me, dude. They all did well.
Even
You
Val
know,
Kilmer did well. Like,
Val Kilmer did well. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Totally.
Now that your fans have been dubbed the Cold Army, and I imagine you were just meeting a fair few of them for the VIP a few minutes ago.
Yeah, there's actually right outside the bus. There's a giant line of people, so they're all out there right now. Um, yeah, they dubbed themselves that years and years ago. I think about a year after we started touring, after our first album, we the the fan base and us as well. Just we all kind of give like a family vibe. We're always there for our fans, and we always spend time with them, and it just became like a thing to where we created the spider so they could get something tattooed on them and share that with us, and then they deemed themselves Cold Army, and it just became a thing, man. Everybody ran with it, so it was pretty cool.
what have been some of the more impressive displays of dedication that you've seen from them?
Oh Lord. I mean, well, traveling all the way from Australia to come to see us play. We've
Yeah.
had we were just talking about that the other day. It seems like the last three tours we've done, we've had people from Peru. It's always someone from Australia because they're like, you're never going to play over there. So we're coming over. So, but that would be the longest flight, I think. It's like 22 hours to get over here for that. So I'm going to say that was a pretty impressive display. And they literally coming over just to see the concert. It's nuts. But we just currently on this tour, and it was kind of, I was like, oh my God, don't say anything. Right before we were releasing the dates to come to Australia, there was a gentleman and his girl that flew in from Australia to see us. He was so excited. And I go, my dude, I'm glad. He was telling us the story, and you guys are never going to play over here. And I go, my man, I go, tomorrow we're putting out the dates. We're coming to Australia and Brisbane too. And he's from Brisbane. I go, damn. But he was happy about that as well. He goes, well, now I get a vacation. I get to see Cold, and I get to go home and see him again later this year. So he's excited.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
outstanding. Yeah,
Wow.
man. I will be
Yeah.
seeing you in Brisbane. That's where I'm based at the moment. So
Okay.
yeah, man, I'll be seeing you there. Um,
Awesome.
dude, thank you very much for your time today, man. And
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man. And dude, come up and say hey when when you get the show. Like
we'll
the
do,
music.
man.
All
Have
right,
a
man.
great day, man. See ya.
Thank you, man. We'll see you.